Hey guys, this is Bob Baker from BobBakersVoice.com. I thought it was about time I did a quick little check-in video. I've been posting pictures on the development of my new studio back behind me here. I'm gonna do this real quick. When I get done with this studio, I'm gonna do a more thorough walkthrough for those of you who are into audio work or care about any of that stuff, or maybe just have some questions on why I built it the way I built it. And you can see here, I've got the walls on. I got this door. I put this door together for me today. And one thing that's really nice about where I live, it's not that loud. And so what that does, we're going to go inside here. What that does, it really gives you an opportunity to not have to spend as much externally to seal out that outside sound coming in. So that's a really, really nice thing to have when you're making a studio of your own. Believe it or not, I started out about, I don't know, about a year and a half ago, and I started out under a blanket. I had a blanket over my head, and eventually I built I call it the, I don't know, the blanket booth. It was just some 2x4s with blankets wrapped around me. I got jobs doing that. And then now I've got another studio I built in the house in the basement that's so small, and it's, I mean, you're in there tight, not the best acoustics. I've got a ton of work though in there, but now it's time to reinvest in the business, right? And make a better studio to work in. And this is not going to be in my house. This is actually out in my garage. And again, a quiet neighborhood, so I don't have to worry about sound from the outside too much. But what's nice about this is I could design this thing the way I wanted it. I did a lot of research about studios. I looked at high-end studios, in big cities. What do their studios look like? And the biggest thing is when you're inside one of these studios, is one thing you got to manage your echoes and your low frequencies and things like that. You don't want all the sound bouncing around. So one thing I did in this booth, actually, I'll just tell you a little bit about it, is the walls. You don't want walls that are perpendicular to each other, right? You want these all at offset angles. So all of these walls, even though it's harder to build, all of these walls around me are all at offset angles so that the sound waves are not bouncing perfectly back and forth against these walls, right? The other thing is I've got rock wool that's going on the inside of here, and rock wool helps absorb some of these sound frequencies, that are bouncing around in here. And you could probably hear that from when I was outside and when I came in here. Now, one mistake, or not a mistake, but what some people do, and I've seen this in these high-end studios, is they don't have their walls just smothered in foam. And you'll see, I've got my other studio in the house has the foam all on the inside because I have no choice but to use the foam. Man, my arm's getting tired. I better get in better shape. And so what I'm going to do actually is, and what happens is you put this foam on, which absorbs this insulation on rock wool, which it was just a great job absorbing sound, right? Then they'll put on drywall on the inside, and this is meant to keep sounds from the outside coming in. Now you've got the acoustic problem again of sound bouncing off these walls, and now you got to throw a bunch of foam on there. A lot of money, in the foam, to be honest, I think kind of sucks. So I am not going to cover this with basically walls, right? What this will be covered with is actually what I'm going to use is burlap. And what happens is the burlap, and I'm going to recycle big coffee bags from a local coffee dealer here in town and a roaster. And I'm going to use these big coffee bags from South American things. I think it's going to look cool as hell. And what will happen is those bags are porous, right? They're just enough to let sound waves get into this wall right here. They can get in this wall. It'll do its job, absorb those sound waves. But it also will not be porous enough to allow this insulation to come floating around in here, because it's not the best for you. So it keeps it intact, keeps it all secure, but lets the sound waves go in there and kind of get absorbed by these walls. And the last thing I'm going to do, this was going to be short, but look at this, went long. The last thing I'm going to do is you don't want it too dead. And one of the things I learned from some of these high-end studios is they really use a lot of diffusion in their rooms and what diffusion does basically is it makes a smaller space basically sound big, right? And so what I'm going to do in here is I'm going to play around with mounting basically small pieces of wood, some pine, all around on here on this wall, on the different walls in here, and at different distances from the wall. I apologize. My shoulder right now is smoking. Let's see if I can switch my hands here. I think if I put my hand over there, hold on a second here. Oh, geez, that hurts. Hey, hold on. I'm a voice talent, guys. I'm not a gym rat, but I should be. So what'll happen is the pieces of wood will be at different depths against the wall, different sizes, and what that does is when those sound waves fly around in here, it diffuses them. It doesn't absorb them, so it gives some reflection. You know, imagine these pieces of wood right here at different distances and around this kind of wall, and it hits and it scatters, and basically it creates a bigger sound. Now, the only issue you got to watch out for in a smaller, I mean, this is big, but it's not huge, is I'm going to have to really play with the diffusion to make sure it doesn't also hurt the sound as well. So I think this will be a lot of fun. Right in the middle here where I'm standing, right here is going to be where my mic stand is going to be. And then over here on this corner wall is going to be a large monitor right here where my scripts will be up, where I'll read those. Also my DAW, which is your digital audio workstation, will be over here where I'll be doing all my mastering of the work afterwards. I do have this, you can see this right here. I'll turn this on for you guys. Now this right here I bought. This, you know, part of this is, you know, if you work as much as I do in, you know, it's like your office at work, 8 hours. I spend hours and hours and hours and hours in the studio recording, which I'm grateful for that. I love it. It gets hot, it gets cold, all those things. This little heater right here, once this is fully insulated, will heat this place up. It's not too loud so that it's not going to be an issue with my mic. And if I can just turn it on and turn it off with my remote, it looks cool. There is no heat issue. It doesn't get hot, but it gives off heat. It's radiant heat, and it's very cool. I'm going to throw some lights in here to kind of jazz it up. And I've got a kind of a cool idea for the outside too as well. I'm still working on naming this place because once I get this up, I'm going to start a business, an LLC, and I'm going to be trying to bring in some other voice artists on as well to work out of the studio, which I think is going to be a ton of fun. So I think that's it. If you got any questions, post it below. I will answer it. And if you happen to be in the Fergus Falls area or in wherever, and you're interested in doing voice work, and you want to know what I've done, the lessons I've learned, just ask me and I'll respond. And again, if you're looking to maybe get into the business and you're interested in maybe working with me, just shoot me a PM and we can chat. All right, guys, hope you enjoyed it. Until next time, more stuff, pretty it up. It'll be awesome. Take care. Thank you. Bye-bye.